Good morning. So we are moving to the next topic. So we have to start with 3.2 in page number 19. That is our topic. 3.2 in page number 19. Our topic name is approaches to organizational effectiveness. Approaches to organizational effectiveness. So under that, we are going to discuss three approaches. System resource approach effectiveness. System resource approach to effectiveness. Then internal processes approach. Internal processes approach. Then the third one is the goal approach. The goal approach. So we have to discuss three approaches in relation to the organizational effectiveness. First one is system resource approach to effectiveness. Second one, internal processes approach. Third one is the goal approach. So first of all, we will discuss system resource approach to effectiveness. System resource approach to effectiveness. System resource approach to effectiveness. Resource approach to effectiveness. Right. Look at the topic here. The topic name is System Resource Approach to Effectiveness. System Resource Approach. Under this approach, we assume that organization is a system. When we say system, it normally includes some component. If you look at about the organizations, what is happening? Within organizations, input is converted into output. So what organization do, they get input from the external environment, they get input from external environment. So what is input actually? Input is the resources used by the organizations. So normally we say anything which is used as a input into the conversion process, we identify as resources. What organizations do, they use resources as input in this conversion process. So they get resources from the external environment, then there is a transformation process take place within the organizations, transformation process, then at the end we get output. You know what is the main output of the organizations? That is good and services. So good and services again is given to the environment. Again it is given to the environment. Customers can be found within the external environment. So customers are going to use this. It is very clear. It's clear what is system resource approach effectiveness. So in this approach, we assume organization is a system. What type of system? Is it closed or open system? Now if you look at about this diagram, so we clearly identified that organization get resources from the external environment. Those resources are used as input into the conversion process. At the same time, final output is given to the external environment. Customers in the environment is going to use this final outcome. Therefore, organization is not a closed system. Since they rely on the environment, we can call it as this is an open system, not a closed system. Right. So we'll look at about the note also. (3.21) System resource approach to effectiveness. Now look at the note. There are several ways to approach effectiveness. The system resource approach sees an organization as an open system. Now look at that one. The system resource approach sees an organization as an open system. So what is the meaning of open system? So they regularly interact with the external environment. The organization obtain input, participate in transformation processes, and generate output. This process is explained. System resource effectiveness cover the ability to do the following things. What are the things it allow to do? Look at the first one. Obtain scarce and value resources from the environment. That's the first things. Obtain scarce and valued resources from the environment. You know what is meaning of scarce? Scarce mean limited. Seemita කියන එක නේද? Right? Obtain scarce and valued resources from the environment. So they obtain resources from the external environment. Look at the comment given also. Oil companies need to secure oil reserve. So for an oil company, one indicator of future success is the volume of reserve. So it explains what type of input used by the oil companies. So they normally use oil, right, for their inputs. We look at the second point given, sustain day-to-day activities. So what organization want to do, they want to carry out day-to-day activities of them. Right? Sustain day-to-day activities. So look at the example given here. An example is Sri Lanka's blood donation organizations. So they must receive blood, no, to carry out their activities. That's true. Sustain කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? බාධාවකින් තොරව විශාල කාලයක් දක්වා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ සාමාන්‍ය කාර්යයන් පවත්වාගෙන යන්න තියෙන්න ඕන හැකියාව කියන එක. So look at the third one. Respond to environmental changes and sustain the environment. Respond to environmental changes and sustain the environment. So we are aware that environment is not stable. Environment change. For an example, macro environment factors change, like technology changes. Therefore, organizations should have ability to change these, to face these changes and survive in the environment. That's the next point given here. So look at the comment given. Business organizations which fail to ensure they have the ability to remain in business in the future are not effective. So business organizations which fail to ensure they have the ability to remain in business in the future are not effective. So when the environment change, if organizations fail to adjust themselves, then they are not effective. Now look at the final sentence also. Effectiveness in obtaining resources now might be essential in meeting client need in future. So we have to get the resources to survive in the future. Right. So with that, we can complete the first approach, and then we can move to the second approach. What is second approach? Internal processes approach. Internal processes approach. Internal processes approach. Right. So look at this second approach, internal process approach. Now in this approach, the main focus area is efficiency. So what is the main focus area in this approach? Efficiency. So in this approach, it say organization should focus more on efficiency. So when you are more focusing on efficiency, it is believed that automatically effectiveness will also be improved. So when you are focusing on the efficiency, automatically effectiveness will also be improved. So what is efficiency? Now already you are aware on that since we have discussed that one last week. So under the efficiency principle, our focus is to optimal utilization of limited resources by minimizing wastage. So what is the main objective of internal process approach? To focus on efficiency. Under the efficiency, what we try to do? We try to get the maximum usage of the limited resources by minimizing the wastage. If you remember what Peter Drucker say about the efficiency, Peter Drucker say efficiency is all about doing things right. Not doing right things, no. That is relevant with the effectiveness. Is it clear? පැහැදිලි මේ කියන කාරණේ. දැන් මේ approach එකේදී අපි ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම අවධානය යොමු කරන්නේ කාර්යක්ෂමතාවය ළඟා කර ගැනීම ගැන. මෙතනදී උපකල්පනයේ තමයි අපි කාර්යක්ෂමතාවය ළඟා කරගත්තොත් එහෙම ඒ හරහා අපිට ඉබේම සඵලදායකත්වය නැත්නම් සඵලත්වය වෙන වචනකින් කියන effectiveness කියන එක ළඟා කරගන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. ප්‍රධාන අපි අවධානය යොමු කරන්නේ මෙතනදී කාර්යක්ෂමතාවය පිළිබඳව. So we'll look at about the note also. Internal processes approach. The internal process approach really refers to efficiency and the internal workings of the organizations rather than effectiveness as we have defined it. So look at that one very carefully. The internal process approach really refers to efficiency. So here the key focus is on efficiency and the internal workings of the organization. Efficiency is connected with the internal workings rather than effectiveness as we have defined it. So here we are not going to focus on the effectiveness. How it assumes that because the organization is healthy and efficient in its internal processes, then it must be effective. So here the assumption is, so when you are achieving the efficiency, we can automatically achieve the effectiveness also. Internal efficiency and health is an outward sign of organization effectiveness in meeting client needs. So internally when you are doing the things well, so automatically, so we can assume that we are effective in meeting the customer's requirement. So there are some issues in relation to this approach. So what are the issues? There are a number of problems with this view. So we look at about those problems also. So what is the first problem? We have ignores customers ගණ්ඩුණු කරුවන් අමතක කිරීම කියන එක නේ. Right, look at the example given here. You could run a factory making obsolete product with incredible efficiency and a deeply satisfied workforce, but customers' needs are not satisfied. Since we are focusing on efficiency, here we ignore the effectiveness. Now look at, so effectiveness normally connect with the objectives, no? For example, one of the objective is to satisfy customers well. Now in this approach, we are not worried on that. We worry about the efficiency. Look at ignore customers. Look at the example given. This example try to communicate that at a maximum efficiency level, you can do something with a maximum efficiency level, but that may not fulfill the effectiveness. Look at example again clearly, carefully. You could run a factory making obsolete product with incredible efficiency and a deeply satisfied workforce. See this one. You may produce obsolete product. Obsolete කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? යාළ පැනපු කියන එක නේද? So you may work with the maximum efficiency. You may produce so many units within a given time without delaying the work. And even the employees may be very happy. But what can happen? But customers are not satisfied. Will customers like to buy a obsolete product? No. They may not happy, no? So therefore, the customers' requirements are not satisfied. That means effectiveness is not there. Look at the second one, ignore strategy. Ignore strategy. Concentration on internal processes is never enough. You might want to be close to your customers, but is this the right customer, and furthermore, does the customer value the relationship as much as you do? So look at the comment here. Concentration on internal processes is never enough. So under the efficiency, we look at about the internal processes, but that's not sufficient. You might want to be close to your customer. Right. You might want to be close to your customer. Yes, you want to be more closer to customer. But is this the right customer? The question is whether this is the right customer. And furthermore, does the customer value the relationship as much as you do? Look at that one also. Furthermore, does the customer value the relation as much as you do? Will customer be happy? So from our strategy, what we want to do, we want to satisfy customers, no? That may not be covered here. The third one is assume the status quo. What is status quo? The existing status quo mean the existing state of affairs. The existing state of affairs. දැනට තියෙන තත්ත්වය කියන එක නේ. දැන් අපි මේ අප්‍රෝච් එකේදී උපකල්පනය කරනවා දැනට තියෙන තත්ත්වය පිළිබඳව තමයි අපි උපකල්පනයකට එළඹෙන්නේ. අපි උපකල්පනය කිරීමක් තමයි කරන්නේ දැනට තියෙන තත්ත්වය පිළිබඳව. So look at the comment here. Managers may not be objective judges of internal health. So manager may not be able to correctly identify the internal situations. The soft system approach suggests that managers are actors in a problem situation with their own objective and perspective. So normally managers are also actors, no? In a particular situations. They not show their real character. That's the meaning. Look at the next one. Ignores environment. The organizational relation with the environment is not addressed by this approach. We are not looking about the external environment. We just focused on the internal environment. That is another weakness of this approach. So with that, we can complete 3.3 and we can move to the final approach to the organizational effectiveness. That is the goal approach. The goal approach. We are moving to third approach. The goal approach. Right. Now look at this approach very carefully. The goal approach. Goal mean, in other words, objectives, no? Similar to the objectives. So under this approach, what we are trying to do? Here, we assume that organization exists to achieve organizational objectives. In other words, goals. Organization exists to achieve objectives or goals. So we can measure the success of the organization by looking about the actual achievement of the organizational objectives, actual achievement of organizational objectives, based on that we can come to a conclusion. For an example, suppose we have a objective to produce 1,000 number of units. So at the beginning of the year, we identify this target. So we can measure the success of the organization by looking about the actual achievement of organizational objectives. Suppose actual achievement is 900 units. 900 units. Now what is the judgment we can reach here? From the objective, we have achieved only 90%. Suppose we actually produce 1,000 number of units. Here what is the conclusion we can make? We are 100% successful since we have achieved the free fan objectives in a correct way. Right. So we'll look at about the note also. The goal approach 3.4. The goal approach assumes that organizations are planned, logical, goal-seeking entities. Look at that one. මෙතනදී මොකද උපකල්පනය කරන්නේ? ආයතනයක් පවතින්නේ සැලසුම් කරන ලද තාර්කික අරමුණු ළඟා කර ගැනීම සඳහා කියන එක. The goal approach assumes that organizations are planned, logical, goal-seeking entities and they are mean to accomplish one or more predetermined goals. Accomplish කියලා කියන්නේ achieve කියන එකනේ. ළඟා කර ගැනීම සඳහා කියන එකනේ. So here it assumes organizations are exist to achieve predetermined goals. මුලින් නිර්වචනය කරන ලද ඉලක්ක ළඟා කර ගැනීම සඳහා ආයතන පවතිනවා කියලා උපකල්පනය කරනවා කියන එක තමයි මෙතනින් අදහස් කරන්නේ. The goal approach is concerned with the output side. Goal approach is concerned with the output side and whether or not the organization attains its goal with respect to preferred levels of output. So here focus is on the output side, not the input side, no? And whether or not the organization attains its goal with respect to preferred level of output. So we are trying to check whether we have achieved the objective as planned or not. The goal approach measures effectiveness by comparing the actual performance of the business with its stated objectives and goals. How we are going to measure the effectiveness? By measuring the actual performance with the identified objectives. If we have achieved the target given, then we can say we are effective, no? If not, we can say not effective. The goal approach is quite easy to use. It is very simple one to use. It is possible, for example, to use output measures as measures of effectiveness. So here we can use some of the output measures to come to conclusion about the effectiveness. What are the different output measures we can use? Look at the first one. Profitability. That is one of the output measures we can use. Profitability. Now, for example, at the beginning of the year, we can identify a target for the profit. At the end of the year, we can check whether that target is achieved or not. If the target is achieved, then we can say we are effective. Then second example, innovations. For example, at the beginning of the year, we may have a target on innovations, like introduce 2 new products during the year. So at the end of the year, we can check whether that is achieved or not. Then growth, market share, staff turnover. What is staff turnover? Now, turnover means the number of employees who have left the organization, no? That is one of the indicator of measuring the employee satisfaction, no? For example, we can have target on that. You see, we are going to say 90% employee retention. In other words, 10% staff turnover. So we'll say actual staff turnover is 20%, but the conclusion we can make. So employees are not happy, no? More people have left, no? Then another indicator is quality. Quality as measured. Then look at next one also. If the goals and objectives are congruent with the organization purpose, then reaching them can indicate that the organization is effective. If the goals and objectives are in line with the main purpose of the organization, we can say organization is effective. But there are problems. So what are the problems we have? So we look at about the problem also. With the first problem we have, comparison problem. Comparison problem. What is that? Look at the comments here. Organization do not exist in isolations. What is that? Organization do not exist in isolation. ආයතනය තනියෙන් තියෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක නේද? Their output effectiveness can only be realistically measured in comparison with other organizations. So, to come to a conclusion whether you have performed well or not, mere looking about internal target is not sufficient. You have to compare yourself with the external other organizations. If you are really good, compare with them, then we can say we are effective. No? Here that aspect is completely ignored. We are not looking about the external parties. We are just looking about whether we have achieved the internally set target or not. Whether that is really good compared with the competitors or not considered here. That is one of the problem here. Then the second one is trade-off. Trade-off. Effectiveness can only be measured across a wide variety of indicators. There may have to be trade-off between them. Trade-off කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද? එකින් එකට කැපිලා යනවා කියන එකනේ. දැන් effectiveness එක අපිට measure කරන්න පුළුවන් indicators ගොඩක් තියෙනවානේ. There are so many indicators which can be used to measure the effectiveness, no? So when you try to achieve one, another may not be achieved. That's a problem, no? They may have to be trade-off between them. එකින් එකට කැපිලා යනවා. For example, so when you are trying to have more market share, that may reduce your profitability. To get more market share, you may try to sell the product at low price. As a result, profitability may be affected. Or to have a higher market share, you may allocate a lot of money on advertising. That may ultimately reduce the profit. Right. The third one, upward in the goal setting process. What is that? Managers may set goals which they can easily achieve. So managers set goals, no? So what they may do, they may set goals which can be easily achieved by them. Very simple goals are set by them. The next one, measurability does not equal significance. Measurability does not equal significance. What is that? There may be a bias toward goal which can be measured. Not all the aspects of it can be easily measured. In a service organization, it is hard to measure staff courtesy, although this is vitally important for organization effectiveness. So the measures you are going to use may not cover the whole element required in effectiveness. Only few areas may be covered. That's the meaning here. So there may be a bias toward goal which can be measured. අපි අඳුර ගන්න goals පිළිබඳව biasness එකක් තියෙන්න පුළුවන් කියන එක. Not all the aspects of effectiveness can be easily measured. Normally you can't measure all the required aspects of effectiveness. Look at the example given here. In a service organization, it is hard to measure staff courtesy. That is one of the requirements, no? Staff courtesy. සේවකයන්ගේ සහයෝගීතාවය කියන එකනේ. In a service business, very tough to measure this. Although this is vitally important for organization effectiveness. Look at the next problem. What gets measured, get managed. Nice point, no? What gets measured, gets managed. Peter Drucker. So managers may only care about what is measured to the detriment of other aspects of performance. Normally they are not looking about all the areas that should be considered. They only look at about the area that is considered by management. So managers may only care about what is measured to the detriment of other aspect of performance. එතකොට උදාහරණයක් විදිහට හිතන්නකො මෙහෙම number of customer complaints කියන එක ගැන ආයතනය worry වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ වගේ වෙලාවකට managers ලා ඒක ගැන worry වෙන්නේ නැහැ. කොහොම හරි කළා බඩු ටික විකුණ ගන්න try කරන්නේ. නැත්නම් සේවය සලකා බලන්න සේවය ලබා දෙන්න තමයි සූදානම් වෙන්නේ එතනදී. I think it's clear for you. පැහැදිලිද කියන එක. දැන් ආයතනයක තියෙන්න පුළුවන්නේ අවදානම කල්ප ඒරියාස් ගොඩාක්. කළමනාකරු මොකද කරන්නේ බලනවා තමන්ගේ ඉහළ කට්ටිය මොන එලිමන්ට් performance evaluation එකදී කන්සිඩර් කරන්න කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉෆෙක්ටිව්ද නැද්ද කියලා සලකා බලන කරුණු මොනවද කියලා බලනවා. ඒ කරුණු පිළිබඳව විතරක් අවධානය යොමු කරනවා. අර අවධානය යොමු නොකරන ඒවා සම්බන්ධයෙන් මෙයා කිසිම අවධානයක් දක්වන්නේ නැහැ. ඒවා අමතක කරලම දානවා. So finally we must assume that the objective chosen are the right one and they stand in successfully for effectiveness. However, who decide what is effective? For a business, the issue should be reasonably clear cut. Shareholders have the ultimate say as the business ought to be run on their behalf. So normally shareholders decide what should be done. For other organizations such as in the public sector, this is not so easy to determine. In the public sector, organization very difficult to determine the effectiveness. Right, then see there is a questions. Take few minutes and read that questions. Right, look at the questions here. These are more practical questions, no? Lahiru, Pradeep, Gihan and Roshan set up in business together as repairs of musical instrument. Each has contributed 500,000 as capital for the business. They are a bit uncertain as to how they should run the business, and when they discuss this in the bar, they decide that attention need to be paid to planning what they do, reviewing what they do, and controlling what they do. Now here I identify two ways in which Lahir, Pradeep, Gihan and Roshan can manage the business. As you know, other personnel are recruited. You can suggest anything you prefer. The purpose of this exercise has been to get you to separate the issues of management function from organized structure and hierarchy. Lahiru, Pradeep, Gihan and Roshan have a number of choices. Here are some extreme examples. So look at the choices given here. A, all the management activities to be the job of one person. Our management activity can be given to one person. Right, in this case, Pradeep, for example, could plan, direct and control the work. The other three would do the work. That is one option. Then division of management tasks between individuals. That means you identify different tasks, then allocate those tasks to different guys. Look at the example given here. Preparing drums and ensuring plans are adhered to would be Roshan's job and so on. Then C, management by committee. All of them could sit down and work out the plan together, etc. In a small business with equal partner, this is likely to be the most effective. That means they together do the planning work. Right. So with that, we can complete this tutorial. Then check whether there are any questions we have to complete. In page number 22, questions. 5.1 question and 5.2. Then at the same time, 5.3 also. I take 5 minutes and try to do that. Right, we'll look at about the answers. So what is the answer for the 5.1 question number 1 in page number 22? Which of the following is not one of the all 5 functions of management? It is communication, no? Yes. C. Answer is C. Planning, organizing, commanding, controlling and coordinating. No, those are the 5, no? Therefore, C is the incorrect one. C is the answer. Then question number 2, who argue that management should be based on well-recognized, clearly defined and fixed principles instead of depending on more or less hazy ideas? That is Taylor, no? B. Then number 3, the overriding responsibility of the management of a business according to Drucker is employee development. True or false? False. India, the main objective is economic performance, no? Yes. Then number 4 is the statement below true or false. Frederick Taylor, despite his engineering background, was primarily concerned with satisfaction worker to obtain from their job. No. False, no? Number 5, which of the following is not one of the interpersonal roles of management identified by Henry Mintzberg? Interpersonal roles should be A, no? Handling disturbance, the decisional role, no? Yes, A. Then MC question 5.2. Question number 1, when we classify managers according to their level in the organization, they are described as B, no? Top managers, middle managers and supervisors. Then question number 2, conceptual skill related to a manager's ability to A, take a strategic view how part of the organization functions. Number 3, which management theory is responsible for the motivation hygiene theory? It should be Frederick Herzberg, D. This is two-factor theory in other words. Number 4, interpersonal roles should be the answer, B. Number 5, getting work done with the minimum of effort, expense or waste is the definition of efficiency, no? D. Question number 6, managers having the least authority and are at the lowest level in the hierarchy of the organization are called? Least one should be first line managers, that is low level managers. C is the answer. Number 7, maintain self-developed network of outside contract and informers who provide favors and informations. Lycian, no? C, Lycian officer. Number 8, who conclude 10 manager roles should be Mintzberg, no? A. Then 5.3, past paper questions. Question number 1, which of the following does not refers to effectiveness? Should be C, no? Minimizing wasteful expenditure in a manufacturing process, that is relevant with the efficiency, no? Then question number 2, which of the following best explain the meaning of unity of command and explain the 14 principle of management? Should be B, no? An employee should receive orders only from one superior. Then question number 3, which of the following is an example of an efficiency measure in a factory? Should be B, no? Wastage per unit of output. The number 4, according to cost managerial skills, which of the following skill is the most important for top management? Should be conceptual skill, no? B. Number 5, which of the following is not an example of an efficiency measure? Extent of brand awareness, no? That is effectiveness measure, no? D. Number 6, the 5 function of management is as classified by Henry Fayol. Should be A, no? Planning, organizing, commanding, controlling and coordinating, no? A is the answer. Right, with that we can complete tute number 2 of us. So before moving to the next tutorial, so we can do a paper. I hope you have received this paper, mock exam paper number 3. Mock exam paper number 3. Take that. Right. How many questions are there? 46 questions, no? Yes. I will allocate 46 minutes for you. Right. Try to do these questions within 46 minutes. Right. I'm allocated 46 minutes. Try to do this.